Hi. So I got this. I have a wedding to attend. So I bought this fabric. So I want to change this fabric to a masterpiece, Picasso. My friend invited me for a wedding like 2 months ago. So right now it's like 2 days to the wedding. So I need to go to my table and sketch out something, just rough sketch. What I know is that I want a plunging neck, a V neckline. So I don't know, it's stretchy, the fabric is stretchy, so I want something that will accentuate my curves. I don't think I need bones for this. I don't know if bone would help me reduce my fupa. So I'm just going to go to the drawing table and sketch out something and make a plan on how I am going to draft my pattern, make a plan on how I'm going to sew, like all the. So I'm just going to go and see what I'm going to do, because right now I have no idea. So let me get this going. So I have 1 day left to the wedding and I haven't done anything. I haven't drafted my pattern, I haven't made my coat. So don't be like me, don't be like me, don't try this. So right now I'm going to be using my fitted. I'm not starting afresh, I'm not starting the pattern from basic. So I have my basic fitted dress block pattern. I'll be using this one up to my length. I have my pattern paper already glued together to get my desired length for my dress. So now the sleeve, I don't know what to do to the sleeve. I have thought about this, I have planned, and the sleeve is just not registering. I want a big sleeve. Now attaching the sleeve, where to join the sleeve? Do I want to join the sleeve here? Do I want to join the sleeve here? You know, I don't know. So I just have to sew and get to the point where I need to put sleeve and decide on the sleeve I want to attach. I have traced out my basic fitted dress block pattern. So first thing is to reduce the hip by 1 inch. So I'm going to reduce the hip by 1 inch. Next, I'll mark out my underbust. My underbust is 13.5 inches, so I'm just going to mark out 13.5 inches. Next, I'm just going to connect this point here. I'll be marking down my new neckline. So I want a plunging neckline, so I'm just going to, I want it way below my underbust, close to my waist. So let's say from my waist is 16 inches, so I just take 15 inches for my, and I want the opening to be the same opening as my basic fitted block pattern. So I'm just going to connect this line. So this is my new neckline. Next is to create the cup. So I have my cup here, so I have to now decide my cup is going to be under the bust. So I have to decide if I want it this way, like this. I want it this way, but I just want it normal. I don't want it to go up or to. Just want it on the line, just like this. So from the waistline, I'll go down 5 inches. This is for the backs. So I'm just going to connect this here. So next I'm going to trace out my yoke up to this part. Yeah, so I'm just going to put a fresh pattern paper underneath this one, then trace using my tracing wheel. Now it's time for me to cut. No darts needed, so I'm just going to cut out just this part I need. Let's see. So I would like to put my green lines. I did not put my green lines, so I'm just going to put my green lines. So this is the back. For the back, I left 3 inches space here, both for the zipper at the back and for the slits, the back slits. So I'm just going to measure my 1 inch out for the zipper. All the way down is the hip. I just go down from the hip. That's it. This is the hip point here. I just go down from the hip point 6 inches, or let's say I'll go down from the hip point so I can see them properly. No, okay, I'll go down from the hip point 10 inches. So this side will be my slit. My slit will start from here, from 10 inches from the hip point.
No, like this.
So this is my slit, and this is zipper. So I'm cutting this one out. I'll cut this one out. This is cut out. So before anything, I will get this part, this front part, as my yoke. So this is going to be my yoke. So I'm just going to trace this part out.
Whoa! Mommy, look at.
So I'm going to trace out this back yoke. So I forgot to take out the 1 inch for the waist. I don't need the 1 inch, sorry, the 1 inch for the dart. So I'm just going to take out the 1 inch for the dart to connect all the way here. Take out the 1 inch on the waist, the 1 inch dart allowance. So I'm just gonna cut this out.
Look at that. What am I pressing?
so it's time to sew. Please consider subscribing to my channel. If you've enjoyed this video so far, please like, share and comment. Tell me what other sewing videos you like to see me make, and I'll try to make that for you. I did something different here. I used the lace to create a lace trim for the waist of the top. This gives it a vintage look and also helps the basque to be visible. I use a zigzag stitch to attach the trim to the waistline. Next, I attach the front facing, the right side facing the right side. What I did was to first sew the neckline, and this helps me to easily turn over before sewing the rest sides of the facing. So I just trim close to the stitches and trim the other side just to enable me turn over seamlessly. So after doing this, I turned it back and sewed the cup side close. After sewing the rest, I trimmed and turned over. I used bone for this dress, but this is optional. I used the bone just to suck in my tummy and also gave me this tummy hard look. So you don't have to use bone because this is a stretchy fabric. So what I did was to cut the bone to the size of the top, leaving space to attach the bra cup and attach the top to the skirt. I also covered the bone with the fabric, and after this I attach it to the top and then stitch. Hi, I'm back. So yesterday, this is all I could sew. So I had, like, apart from my domestic work, I had errands to run, so I wasn't able to do much. But yeah, I did much. This is much because I had to drop the pattern yesterday and I had to sew up to this extent. So I fixed the bone. There's no bone in channel, so I fixed the bone. Then I made the bra cup. So for this bra cup, you just have to watch the video. I'm gonna put a video on the screen. So I made this basque with an Ankara print. So it's just the same method I use in making this cup. I use the same method. Yeah, I use the same method for this cup. So there's no point doing the same thing over on this video because it's going to take a lot of time. I actually used 1 hour 30 minutes to make the 2 bra cups. So you should watch the video, and also the method of attaching the bra cup to the buttocks. I have done this before too, so I'm just going to put the video on the screen so you can do that. So I've done something like this before. That's the sewing the bra cup, the cover of the bra cup, and attaching it to the top. So I'm just going to link the video on the put the video in the description box and on the screen for you to make your bra cup. Before I attach the bra cups to the buttocks, I overlock the edges. Please watch these two videos. Next, I attach the yoke. What I did was to align the two fronts together exactly the way I drafted the pattern. So I just placed the backstop and pinned at the side, leaving the 1 inch at the armhole side as a side seam. I left the 1 inch up there. So I pinned the neckline and I pinned both side seams. First, I sewed the neckline, then proceeded to sew the side seams. Then I also used a needle and thread and sew the cup to the yoke. So I just used the needle and thread to attach the cup to the yoke. So here I go attaching the bra cup to the yoke. So be careful while using the needle and thread because I poked myself like twice. So just be careful while using the needle and thread. Next step is to attach the skirt to the top. So this I did like a slow and steady sewing just to get that V Basque look at the waistline. After pinning, I sewed. Next is to sew the back pieces. So here what I did was to align the yoke and the main back and the facing together. I did everything together. So you can cut the excess out, the excess yoke out, but I just left it that way. There was no point cutting the excess yoke, and I used the facing to align the pieces together so I can get it right. So don't forget to leave the 1 inch at the yoke. Don't forget to leave the 1 inch at the armhole side. So I did this for the two pieces, the two side pieces, the right and left pieces, and pin and sew. I totally forgot. Please, while sewing a stretchy fabric, you have to stretch while stitching on the sewing machine. You just have to stretch. So here I attach the skirt of the back for both sides and I sewed. After sewing, I also locked the inseam, that is where the zipper will be attached. So I locked the part where the zipper will be attached. So this is all done. It's time to attach the zipper. So I have a video on how you can attach an invisible zipper. I'm using an invisible zipper here. So if you're not comfortable with an invisible zipper, you can use the normal zipper. So I have two zipper foots for my invisible zipper, but I prefer the other one. So I just trimmed the zipper because the zipper will only be on the main fabric and not on the yoke. So I just trimmed and pinned and so I'm going to put the video up on the screen. Now it's time to sew the side and also create the slit. So what I did was, from where the zipper stopped, I just pinned to the slit, then all the way down, folding just once, and so just to give that smooth edge. I used one of my zipper foot just to get close to where the zipper stopped, all the way to the slit where the slit starts. So I trimmed a part there. I just cut open a part there just to make the slit move seamlessly to the other side. So next I just fold the slit to the other side and pin, then sew. You can sew from the back if you know you can get a straight stitch, or you can sew from the front just to see how your stitch attach to the joining, the zipper joining. Next, I attach the side seams, the front and back pieces together, and also the shoulder. So it's getting dark and you can see everywhere is dark, so I just tried the cloth on. So I'm just going to do some like reduction. I'm going to reduce the side a bit, and that is it. And so I hemmed the bottom. So next is the sleeve. Oh my gosh, I struggled with the style for the sleeve, really. So I looked at my fabric and I decided to make something simple because I don't have enough fabric to make something really big. So I created slash lines on my basic sleeve block, just anyhow slash lines. There's no measurement in the slash lines. So I cut open my slash lines and spread it out anyhow still. So you can see it's not like I have a measurement in mind. So I just traced that out. Then I also created another slash lines at the side seam. After tracing that out, then I cut out that part, the slash lines also. Next, I labeled the sleeve pieces, then cut and spread out directly on my fabric. As you can see, my fabric is just not long enough. So what I did after cutting out was to pleat the sides. So I pleated the side seam, just 3 pleats. I would have loved a lot of pleats, but I just had to pleat what I have left. So I pleated the side seams, then sew and lock. I also hemmed the bottom of the sleeve because what I did was to drag the bottom of the sleeve to the top of the sleeve just to give this bulky look. So I attached the sleeve to the shoulder of the dress and I pinned and sewed. So for the back, I double fold the net and I used a hook for the back. So I also used my trims, the applique. I used this hot pin to separate the applique and attach. So everything is going really fast here. I didn't do much applying. I wanted to use like sequins. I wanted to use a lot of things, but there was no time. I was actually doing this at the day of the wedding, which is really bad. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Don't leave without subscribing, like, share, and comment. Turn on your post notification for more videos. I really enjoyed this wedding. I really enjoyed it. I had fun. So enjoy. Bye.